just wanna bow. Look at them 20s while they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall, nigga. I just wanna bow. And I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true, nigga. I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Trying to build my own city, homie. Enough room to put my niggas on it. Just start a couple business on it. Fuck any heathen never shitting on me. Yeah. Public housing we done lived through. Trying to put that in my real view. Gold rolls, what I still do. I can see the picture with a clear view. Gotta separate the snakes. And all you fuck niggas that's gon' hate. Daily pray to God I don't catch another case. But that's a small risk that I feel I gotta take. Only certain niggas, they gon' feel this. Still deliver verses on that real shit. If I get a couple million, I'ma bust this shit down with these children. I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s while they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. And I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Yo, get up out of bounds, homie. Got killers with them rounds on them. Look like I'm dead from the drum. Look, don't make me make the reaper rain down on them. I can give a fuck if you rock blue. And I was Sue Woo from the Fruittown crew. Cops still shoot us every time we move. They hate you, nigga, like they hate me too. Just know that brotherhood is a weapon. Build another zone, get protected. Too many sisters in the city been molested. Now I'm stacking soldiers off the block like it's Tetris. Woo. Know that truth, it give you chills, don't it? Steady ringing in your ears, won't it? If I'm blessed to make a meal, I'ma bust that shit down with my real homies. I just wanna bow. Told my niggas stand tall, cause we about to go and get it out. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Look at them 20s while they crawl. I've been praying that my enemies fall. Nigga, I just wanna bow. And I hope you bow too. And that be why I gotta keep it true. Nigga, I just wanna bow. Just give me what I'm due. Let my enemies see the living proof, Lord. I just wanna bow. Hey. Yeah. To all them children that grew up with parents strung out on drugs. Yeah. I just wanna bow. Hope you do too. And I hope you do too. Yeah. Man, to the brother that had a real and she left him for whatever reason. Yeah. I just wanna bow. I hope you do too.
You know. All right. Shalom. Yahweh Shem brought the thumb to the men. Shalom. Yahweh Shem thumb by Shem shout to the sisters and priests and officers of 5,000. Batazo over the I.S.U.P.K. That's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the commanding GEN.YAHANNA. We started off 125th on the West Harlem, New York. We've been doing this since 1969. What is that? That's bringing the truth to the so-called Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans here in the Americas, right? It's contrary to popular belief. We've been destroyed, and the world continues to try to destroy us the best way they can. And of course, the way they do that is by destroying our families, right? By attacking our families, by constantly the act of indoctrination, right? When I say the act of indoctrination does two things. It separates the parents from the child. A lot of people don't realize it, right? That it separates the parents from the child. When you send your child off to school, you have just handed the state, the world, and everybody else. If you call yourself want to be a child of God and want to raise a child of God, well, you have to understand how the system works. So as soon as you hand your child off, you have just signed your child up to be a child of the world, not a child of God, but a child of this world.
Right.
Because they're gonna hold you accountable for your actions. When I say hold you accountable, they're gonna say, "Well, you sent me to school. Well, you wanted me to learn these things. Well, you desire it. Well, technically, you have to understand that a lot of stuff that we do today is under compulsion, right? You know, we think we willingly do things, but you understand if your child don't go to school, they're knocking on your door and they're coming to arrest you because they want to ensure that your child gets the indoctrination that every other child gets.
Right.
We don't need any free thinkers out here, right? When I say free thinkers, they don't want you to be wholeheartedly towards the Most High God. They want you to give Most High God part of you. Not all of you, right?
Right.
And so we're gonna touch bases on is just we can say this is a little personal for me, but it's real life, it's real circumstances. It's not just me going through it, it's everybody that in this truth goes through, right? Go ahead and give me Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26. We have to understand something, right? In life, every and this is just in realistic, every relationship is bilateral, it's give and take, right? And what I mean by that is that if you take let's say you take a so-called, for those who understand, a so-called Christian girl and you place her with a bunch of girls that's for the streets, what's going to happen? Man, we all understand the saying. The saying used to be one apple ruined the bunch. Right. It just take one to ruin the rest. But what happens when you outnumber, when every girl for the streets and you the only one trying to uphold some type of standard? You're going to feel like you the one wrong. Everybody else out here giving it up, so I guess I might as well give it up. Then that's what happens, right?
Right.
When you have a woman who's loose, she's going to teach her daughters to be loose. When you have a woman who's loose, she's not going to teach her son how to be a man. She's going to teach him how to be a slave to another woman.
Right.
Be respectful, bow down, be courteous, be all these things, right? But nowhere will she ever teach him to receive respect and show him how it looks to be respected and honored, because that's what the scriptures declare for your children to honor the father and for the wife to respect her husband and move a certain way. But in a house where a loose woman's running it, she's destroying everything. She is going to destroy everything. Right? Because she doesn't have the regard. She doesn't have what's required. When I say what's required, you have to understand the service of God was held by the men of Israel. The men of Israel, right? Well, let's go ahead and get it. Read what you got for me. Let's see what the Most High God says about these type of women.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26.
Right.
And I find more bitter than death.
What? Find more bitter than what?
Than death.
Now, we have to understand this is the Most High God speaking. He says he finds it more bitter than death. Now, we all can agree that death is a grievous thing. Like, none of us is one to wake up and say, yo, I hope I die tomorrow. Like, nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying, like, yo, I can't wait till I die. Like, nobody's saying that, right?
Right.
Because there's nothing great about death, right? We all cry, we all tear, we all get emotional, stuff like that. We think death is the most bitter thing on the face of the earth, right? But the Most High God, he's saying, no, I find this thing more bitter than death. Go ahead, continue, read.
Come on. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26, continue.
Right.
More bitter than death, the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her.
Oh, right there. Whosoever pleaseth God shall escape her. Because you have to understand that woman, her whole intention is not to serve the Most High God. See, what people are up to understand, even in the Christianity, and almost in every doctrine, when you have the Western customs turn women into gods.
Right.
This Western custom has slowly started to deteriorate all healthy relationships across the world, because now you got women over in the eastern part of the world where things is somewhat to the standard. Now every woman wants to be a Western woman. I want to be free. What is free? I want to be loose. I don't want to have an instructor. I don't want to have somebody over me.
Right.
But that's not, guess what? That's not the way the Most High God created women to move. And the same thing happened in the beginning. In the beginning, right? Eve, when Satan was talking to her, because it's the same dream. It's the same thing. He told Eve, no, you surely will not die if you eat from this tree. You shall be like a god. Right? He told her she shall be like a god. And guess what? It was no hesitation in her. Not only did she eat of the plant, she went and she shared it with her husband.
Right.
And guess what happened? And we understand, when I say guess what happened, we all understand what happened, right? God came down, but what did God say to Eve when he was out here handing out blessings and curses then when he was kicking them out of the garden? He said, woman, I'm going to multiply your sorrows, right, in childbirth. And that your husband, Adam, shall be your ruler. He shall rule over you. What was he doing? Reestablishing what he was requiring from the very beginning. Because for some reason, I don't know what it is, women have this strong desire and intent to be equal. And if she's not equal, she wants to be above her husband.
Right.
And how do we see that? We see on these TV shows. I mean, help me out. What's a celebrity woman who walk around here telling people? I forgot her name, man. I wanted to hit on her, but she walk around here counseling these people, trying to help them overcome these things, and all it is just broken men who had broken mothers. And this woman is pretty much speaking from probably experience. But at the end of the day, all instruction should come from the man. If you had a man, you wouldn't have 99% of the problems that we have in the community, right?
Right.
If we just maintain the structure, right? When you maintain the structure, it solidifies the relationship in the house. The father is the protector, the mom, the nurturer, right? The comforter. Right. When you have both of those together, the children feel at peace. They don't worry about nothing. But as soon as a woman starts to usurp her authority over the man, now it's conflict. And guess what? Now their house is unstable. Now the children begin to wrestle with spirits. They go into school and they hear their friends talking about what they got going on, this, that, and the third, right? But making a long story short, I should say a long story longer, right? A woman whose heart, she's a snare to the husband, right? And the man who escapes her, he follows the Most High God. Think about how much worse she is to the kids, right? Think about how much more her actions actually affect the children in the house. See, women don't think about that. See, what the thing is, and this is just across the board, what heathen and wicked people have in common. When I say we heathen and wicked, they suffer from two things, which is discipline and accountability. That's their weakness. They don't have the discipline to not sin. They don't have the discipline to do the things required of them that the Most High God wants them to do. So then they come up with 1,000 excuses of why they can't do it, right? And which then, guess what, leads from they no longer hold themselves accountable. Right. And so what do they look for? They have to blame somebody. They can't blame God because they want God on their side at all times. God knows my heart. God knows what I want. Right. So they can't blame God. So what happens? They start blaming the kids, blaming the husband. Look what you made me do.
Right.
Lack of accountability. And again, guess what? The struggle just gets worse and worse. And these are traits that eventually pass down to the kids. Now the kids lack discipline and they lack accountability.
Right.
And we see it every day in the streets. We see it every day. We get on TikTok and see it's just the lack thereof, right? But we think it's all fun and games because that's the way the world portrays it. Salakia, was there more on that?
Come on.
Go ahead and continue reading for me.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26 continue.
Right.
Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her.
Right.
But the sinner shall be taken by her.
But the sinner shall be taken by her. Right. But the sinner. So if you're out here still doing wickedness and you're still doing this, that, and the third, you're going to be taken by her. And what I mean by that, we've seen it. And when I say we've seen it, it's a sad thing. I think I saw a TikTok where a young lady was gloating about how she had somebody unalive by lying, all because he either said something or did something she didn't like. Right? I have seen women who leave their man, right? Go to another man, lie to that man and tell him something that this other man been doing. And then all of a sudden now another man's unalive and another one's going to prison, right? And guess who's still free? She is, because she's the snare, she's the trap, right? Go ahead and give me Proverbs 22 and 6. Because this is the way we're supposed to be raising our kids. This is the way because they're, I hear it all the time. Well, don't you do it for the kids? What about the kids? God damn it, I just want my kids to have fun. Right? That's what everybody say. I want my kids to have fun. It's about the kids. It's about the spirit. Right? I'm gonna get to the spirit here in a second. It's about the spirit of Christmas. It's about the spirit of Thanksgiving. It's about all these spirits, right? That the world is portrayed to be good things. Go ahead and read what you got for me.
Come on, that was Proverbs
22 and 6.
Come on. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
He says, train up a child in my ways, right? In his ways. Train him up. Then when he gets old, he doesn't depart from them. Well, if the first thing you're doing is sending your kids to school to be indoctrinated and to take on the customs of the world, how can you believe that your child is going to ever be a child of God if you are sending them to a place to learn things that is not of the Most High God? And they believe they're learning the knowledge of the world and everything it means to be an adult.
Right.
But let's get back to the spirit, because this is the fun thing about this spirit. Because people don't really understand these spirits a lot. These spirits that they talk about and they hold so dear. Because what you don't understand is that you giving in, you feeding a spirit, right? That's not of the Most High God. And so what happens as soon as you start cutting them off, right? You start cutting them off and doing things that is pleasing. You want to do things that pleasing the Most High God. That's when you see the real spirit.
Right.
The real demons start to show themselves. These kids start getting upset, throwing tantrums, breaking God knows what in your house, all because you said no. You're not getting no gifts for Christmas. We're not doing these things no more. Now you see the true demons. You see why they weren't holding themselves accountable. You see why they weren't disciplined in the area they were supposed to be disciplined, because now the demons are starting to show themselves. They're starting to growl, get angry, get physical, want to fight every time you turn around, all because you want to be righteous.
Right.
That's why the scriptures declare you can't sit at the table of devils and then turn around and think you're gonna sit at the table of the Most High God.
Right.
The scriptures declare either you're gonna love one, you can't serve two masters. You're gonna love one and hate the other. You can't serve both of them. So the idea of sending your kids to school or letting anybody else, educate your kids, well, you understand you have a duty. And when the Most High God comes back for judgment, you can't say, well, I sent them to school. It was up to teacher Peter Powell to teach them. Well, I was sending them to private school. It was up now. The Most High God has given every human being on this earth a duty to accomplish in their lifetime.
Right.
You are unto your child. When I say unto your child, it's your duty to raise your child up in these scriptures, so that when they grow up, they won't leave these scriptures. They'll hold dear to them, right? But we too busy, following the hype. So again, the rule of thumb, it says one apple ruins a bunch. But now you got the whole world doing it. You believe that the whole world is right in its actions. Well, then guess what? Now you're doing things that's not pleasing to the Most High God. But we're gonna go ahead and get it real quick, because again, give me Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30. Because here recently, and like I said it's gonna be a little more personal. Here recently, I got some older kids, and they believe that the education they're getting from school makes them superior to me, their father. Right? They believe that the knowledge that they're learning from these schools is going to give them everything they want in life. Now, for those who been to school, you understand that school is not, you're not learning anything. You're being indoctrinated. You spend 18 years of your life relearning the same stuff you learn every year, just a different teacher teaching it to you, a different way. We gotta wake up, man. We gotta wake up. Salakia, go ahead and read what you got for me.
Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30. Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them.
That you be not snared by following them. This is the Most High God talking to Israel. He's saying, he's warning us, be not snared by following them. So this whole idea, because the rest of the world is doing it, it doesn't make it right. Does it make sense?
Right.
We're sheep-like people. We want to do what the masses do, but the Most High God is saying, no, do as I have commanded you. Don't worry about what the other nations got going on. Go ahead and continue reading.
Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30 continued. Be not snared by following them. After that they be destroyed from before thee, and thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their God?
So he's saying, don't worry about the customs they had going on, and definitely don't worry about what gods they were serving, right? He says, don't worry about that, right? Why? Go ahead, continue reading.
Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30 continued, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so, I will do likewise.
So he's saying, don't say you'll do likewise. Don't even think that you'll serve me the same way these other nations serve their God. Are y'all starting to see where I'm going with this? You have to understand the indoctrination of this world is not the wisdom of the Most High God. It is not what God required you to do. God literally gave you the answers in the Bible, but yet you'll still listen to the liars, the deceivers, right? God told you right here, don't be snared by the thing be snared by them and the things they do, right? He didn't say some of the things they do. He didn't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 6 things they do is cool. Them 7 things they are all right there. He didn't say none of that, right? The Most High God didn't say that. So if he didn't say that, I'm trying to figure out where we got that. It's cool to keep Christmas. Oh, it's cool to keep Saturnalia. It's cool to keep St. Patrick's Day. It's cool to do these. Show me in the scriptures for those who claim to be Christians, right? For those who claim to be followers of God. Show me where he said, "Oh, you can keep these few days right here that the other nations have been doing." What you're gonna find out, he never said you could.
Right.
He never gave you a pass to take on other customs. He never gave you a pass to become indoctrinated in a system that's not beneficial to you. When I say beneficial to you, it's beneficial to you that you do the things the Most High God has commanded you.
Right.
Because we understand that what he did, he gave us both life and death. Life, which is through the whole Old Testament and New Testament, life is through that's how you gain life, is through keeping the commandments.
Right.
Death is through the wages of sin, being disobedient, not hearkening unto the Most High God. He tells you, don't fear those that can only harm the flesh, but fear him that can harm the soul in the flesh. Why? Because we're like sheep. We're trying to hold on to something that was never ours. When I say never ours, we didn't give ourselves life. We didn't breathe life into ourselves.
Right.
So we're sitting here standing and doing wicked things, trying to hold on to something called life, when he's an author. He's the author of life and death. Right? He's the creator of all things. It would make sense to do things that pleases him, and through that, he may bless us with longevity. But we sitting here, living our best life, right?
Right.
So, go ahead and continue reading for me.
Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 31. Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
For every abomination to the Lord which he hated have they done unto their gods. For even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their gods.
Right.
Verse 32.
No, you good right there. Hold right there. So he literally saying, look, don't keep none of the customs of the heathen. Keep nothing that they got going on. But for some reason, we still do the things that's not pleasing to him. And then in our mind, because remember, the two things that heathen and wicked people have in common is the lack of discipline and accountability. Because we lack the discipline to do the things the Most High God has required us to do. We become unable, right? We have the inability to hold ourselves accountable.
Right.
We'll come up with 1,000 of excuses why we can't be righteous. Thousands of excuses, and the biggest excuse is, well, Christ came because nobody can keep the law. That doesn't exist. Christ didn't say that. The disciples didn't say that. God didn't say that, right? Christ literally said, those who do the will of my Father are my brothers and sisters. Those who do the will of my Father. He didn't say those out here doing what they want to do and say, God knows my heart. God gonna meet me back here in this alley while I go do some wicked things real quick because he know my heart.
Good night.
Because we lack the discipline. We lack the ability to hold ourselves accountable.
Right.
Because that's what happens when you hold yourself accountable. They say it all the time. The first step into recovery is that you have to accept that you have a problem.
Right.
Because if you don't have a problem, there's nothing to fix. If you don't have an issue, then you can't fix it. So again, because you lack the discipline, you lack the accountability. You're not going to hold yourself accountable. And because you don't hold yourself accountable, you're not going to hold the next person accountable, which is where they get that, well, you can't judge me. And I'm not going to judge you. Doesn't that sound like some wicked people that came together and made that up? Hey, man, if you're not going to judge me, I ain't going to judge you. Let's go get this bread.
Right.
Let's go get this bag. That sounds like wickedness right there.
Right.
I'm not going to hold it. But because when I say that, if we look at the scriptures, because the scriptures are used for reproof, instruction, and, correction, every time Israel was doing something wicked, what the Most High God do? He held them accountable. He sent a prophet and warned them, right? Hey, man, you better change your ways. I'm coming with this sword, right?
Right.
God didn't send prophets down to the prophet, go down there and say, look, man, hey, God sent me down here, but we're gonna kick it. I ain't gonna judge you. Look, y'all not gonna judge me. I'm gonna go down here and get you. No. Because that's what we're saying when we say that. When we say, oh, can't nobody judge me. I'm not gonna judge nobody. That's wickedness.
Right.
Right? And that's why the wicked love the wicked. What I mean by that, again, personal. This stuff is personal. I'm the most hated man in my family. Most hated man. But guess what they love? I kid you not. Because they be like, free my homie, right? Get them from the west side. And I hate it. I'm not gonna say any names about who it is, but these are some of the atrocities.
Right.
And it has to do with an adult and a child.
Right.
They love that person, but I'm the monster in the family.
Right.
All I say is, thus said the Lord.
How dare you?
Right. Thus said the Lord. Monster. Hey, little girl, let me whisper in your ear. I love you. They have nothing but love for that person and for every other wicked person on this earth. Because of wickedness.
Right.
The scriptures declare wickedness will hate. Wickedness abhor righteousness, and those who are righteous abhor wickedness. And you must be far from it, which is why you can't do both. You can't claim to be righteous and have your hand in the cookie jar.
Right.
It's just not happening because this is the way the world works. The most hated man, all because I say, thus said the Lord, and you got to keep the commandments. I'm a monster. I can't believe you say that to me.
Right.
I mean, I might as well have just cussed them out.
Right.
But hey, yo, cuz, you want to roll this brother up? You want to go smoke a blunt? Hey, man, what up? Oh, they love. Hey, we love that dude.
Right.
He the one. Come on, man. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. Because his wickedness is get out of hand, man. And I'm not laughing to say it's a funny thing, but it's just the stuff I'm saying that I'm not making it up because I'm living it. I'm seeing it.
Right.
In real life. And the thing that sickens me is because these people fail to hold themselves accountable. And they don't want to see the truth. They don't want to hear the truth.
Right.
They want to continue to live the lie because the lie feels good. It sounds good. It makes them feel rejuvenated. Tell somebody, hey man, you've been living your life wrong your entire life. Hey man, it's time. They get mad, but that's exactly what Christ was doing when he showed up. Think about how people have been living. All these people were grown when he was talking. They were grown.
Right.
That means they had lived 35 years the wrong way, 40 some years the wrong way. He showed up and he was showing them straight love. Hey man, I know you've been living for 35 years, but what you're doing it wrong, man. Thus said the Lord. This is how you need to do it. Guess what the people were doing? They were receiving it. Because that's what the scriptures say. You have to be as a child if you want to receive the kingdom of heaven. You got to be willing to learn. You've been doing things wrong your whole entire life. And when somebody come up and say, hey man, you've been doing it wrong. Now you want to get defensive. Now you can't judge me. Hey man, I'm just trying to, thus said the Lord. I'm trying to warn you, right? Because I love you.
Right.
But this is what we do, right? We'll sit here and Slug, go ahead. There was some more in there. Go ahead and finish that for me.
Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 32. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it.
Right. And so the Most High God said, everything that I've commanded you to do it.
Right.
You can't add to it, and you can't take from it. And so people take that in the context. They say, well, if I want to keep Christmas and slap, he just told you can't do that. Well, can I at least get together? No, you can't do that. You can't. Thus said the Lord, you can't do that. Because what it comes down to, what people don't realize, and I'll break it down to you, it's a scripture in Corinthians. It talks about the eating of meat made unto idols. Now we understand. When I say we, the men of the truth, we understand there's only one God. There is no idol. Idol has no power over us. But if, like, we can eat it all day, right? But if our brother or sister, whoever it is that makes the food, says, hey, this is for Thanksgiving, this is for Christmas, you must understand that we have to refuse it with all prejudice.
Right.
Not only for our sake, but for their sake, because the scriptures declare that if you are a stumbling block to your brother, that is a sin.
Right.
That is wickedness, and that is a sin. So why do we stay away from Christmas and Thanksgiving? Because it is a sin. Regardless of mama, well, baby, we just get together. We're not going to no. Pick a different day. It's 365 days in the year. Pick a day, any day, but them days, and I come over and kick it with you.
Right.
Because the scriptures declare I can't be. That's a sin. And now I can be going to hell because now I'm kicking it with you on these days because you say we trying to play semantics now. We're trying to play wordplay. Hey, you want to come over on such and such day? We're not celebrating nobody's B-Day though.
Right.
We just gonna have cake and ice cream. No, I can't do that. Because this is the thing that our family members try to do as we come into the truth. But they trying to pull us back into wickedness.
Right.
They're trying to draw us back in. Those spirits are saying, hey man, familiar spirits. They're trying to say, hey man, come kick it with us. Come do these cool things. Remember when you used to, they'll try to reminisce with you. Man, remember when we got that Christmas present, that Transformer? I don't want to reminisce about no Transformer and no Christmas.
Right.
Why you trying to make me remember about my sins, man?
Right.
Because you're trying to draw me back into a lifestyle that's not for me.
Right.
And that's what they do, right? Why? Because in their eyes, they think they're doing it because they love you, but it actually is that demon that's trying to call you back, right?
Right.
It's a lot here. I believe this is well, my handwriting is horrible. Give me Psalm 3 and 6.
Come on.
No, that's definitely not it. I'm looking at it right now. This is what I want you to do. Go ahead and give me Leviticus 18 and 1.
Come on.
While I figure out what my handwriting is right here. Because we're gonna get to it, because the next thing that we're gonna talk about, because remember the Most High God said all the things the heathen were doing, he said not to do. Now for the next, like what they call the Torah, the law, and all this stuff, the Most High God was telling us things to do and things not to do based off what the other nations had been doing. Right? He says, do these things because I told you to do these things. Don't do these things because these are things you're going to see the other nations do.
Right.
You gotta think about it. It's like going to the zoo and seeing animals do certain things. You're not gonna do what the gorilla do. You're not gonna do what the panda do, right? But you see them doing these things. But all of a sudden, gloves are off when we look at these heathen nations and what they got going on.
Right.
Oh, I gotta try that. He did what? And with a backflip. Oh man, when we get home, we're going to, no, Most High God is telling you exactly what to do and what not to do. And what we're going to touch on next real quick is because it's becoming a big thing in this world. Now, we all remember Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
And what the Most High God did to them. All of a sudden, we act like we want to act like everything brand new. Right? Go ahead and start in Leviticus chapter 18, verse 1. We're going to go ahead and read a couple of them.
Come on. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 1.
Right.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel.
Right.
And say unto them, I am the Lord your God. Verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, ye shall do, so like ye shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, ye shall not do.
Pause right there. So the Most High God is saying, hey man, I had you in Egypt, right? Had you in Egypt, the things you saw going down in Egypt, man, don't do it. You're not gonna do it. The land I'm getting ready to bring you in, Canaan, man, they got some crazy stuff. Don't do it.
Right.
He already the prerequisite. He's setting it up. Hey man, they was doing some messed up stuff. Don't do it. The land I'm getting ready to bring you into, they doing some messed up stuff. Don't do it. Right. Go ahead and continue read.
Come. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 3 continue. Ye shall not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
Pause. So he's saying even you're not gonna walk in their laws, their ordinances. And so this is what we get here, you know, in these other land masses where they say, because another thing, boy, I'm telling you, heathens and wicked people, they get to quoting scriptures real quick. The ones they think benefit them. Didn't God say keep the law of the land? Come on, man, stop playing.
Right.
He literally just said, don't keep the ordinance of the other nations. Don't keep the laws of other nations. But here you go, because you want to use semantics, and everybody love the Western customs and the Western culture. Right. Got to do the law of the land. God told me I had to be a sinner. God told me to go out here and do these. No. Your lack of understanding is why you think that you should do the law of the land, and you think the law of the land is whatever land mass you in and what governs you there. No, God's letting you know that wherever you go, you're going to keep my laws. That's what's going to actually govern you. Your person, your body, that's what's going to govern you. My scriptures, right? Go ahead and continue reading.
Come. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 4. Ye shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinance. So like in mine ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your God.
Right.
Verse 5. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them.
He shall do what?
He shall live in them.
He shall live in them. Again, the Most High God is telling you, do my will, and you should live in them. Go ahead.
Come on. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 5 continue. He shall live in them.
Right.
I am the Lord. Verse 6. None of you shall approach to any in their near kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. Verse 7. The nakedness of thy father is the nakedness of the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. Right. She is thy mother, and thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
Right.
Verse 8. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. Verse 9. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or the daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. Verse 10. the nakedness of thy son's daughters, it's like thy son's daughter or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover.
Pause right there. So y'all hear this stuff, right? He's talking about a man laying with his mom, a man laying with his daughter, a man laying with his daughter's daughter, a man laying with his son's daughter, all these different things. He's saying don't do this, but you have to understand what he's telling us not to do. It was privy. It was a natural thing in these other nations. These things were going down in Egypt. These things were going down in Canaan. Guess what? These things are going down in America. Like, it's no new thing under the sun. These are the same people. Like, they through history, they try to hide themselves. They change names. They put bywords. They to separate. Right.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they're the same people.
Right.
We know them because of how they move. The scriptures already declared, right? Yeah, we sitting here acting, wow, well, this is something new. No, it's not new. It's not new. To you, it may feel new, but no, it's not new.
Right.
It was happening before we came here, before America was established. It was happening. It was going down. Guess what? I'm gonna tell you like this: you can only hold a facade for so long. Right. You can only fake it for so long. You can only pretend to be something for so long till your natural tendencies start to, come about.
Right.
What I mean by that, we've had too many people hold this book, right, and imitate and emulate and pretend to be righteous, pretend to be the people in the book. But the thing is they suffer. They lack.
Right.
You can only fake it for so long. You can only depict yourself to be something you're not.
Right.
Your natural tendencies are going to come out. And that's what we see going on here in America.
Right.
It was only natural for them to be doing these things, and they still want to do it. They just didn't want you to know that they love to do it.
Right.
But now that it's out, everybody apparently everything's out the closet, and everybody come out the closet. They're saying, "Why hide it now?"
Right.
And actually, they'll shame a heterosexual. How dare you be straight?
Right.
Like what? That's what the world's coming to the point where being heterosexual, being a man who believes in doing the natural things, when I say natural, the things that God has commanded us to do and how to move, right? And versus the unnatural, we're being condemned. We're being looked at funny, and it's just beyond me. But that's where the world is at. But let me go ahead and have you jump to Salaki, verse 22, Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22. That's what I really want to touch bases on.
Coming. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination.
It is an abomination. You're not to do it. Right. But granted, this is Most High God. He warned us. I'm not going to say vague. I mean, it's a blanket statement, but it makes sense when I say Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30. He says, "Do nothing the heathens do." That's a blanket statement. But he said, just in case you get confused, just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, he goes into detail on what he wants you to do and what he doesn't want you to do. And somehow when I say you, our people, the scriptures declare that we destroy due to the lack of knowledge because we want to hold on to what the world tells us, right?
Right.
We are destroyed due to the lack of knowledge, but this is what we want to hold on to, right? We want to hold on to the world and not hearken unto the Most High God. He literally gave us a blanket statement saying, "Hey, do nothing the world does." And just in case you got confused on what that is,
right,
let me break it down to you and give it to you in detail on what I want you to do and what I don't want you to do. And somehow we still messed up, right? Which is why we're here in this captivity now. We still found a way to say, "Oops, God knows my heart."
Right.
But man, go ahead and give me Ecclesiastes I think it's 12 and 13 or 13 and 12. Let me see real quick. We have to wake up, Israel. Right? And the way we do that is first, one thing we got to do is first hold ourselves. We got to hold ourselves accountable, man. We got to be disciplined enough to say, "Hey, man, I messed up." Right? Hey, man, I'm in sin. Let me stop doing the things the world got going on for just a minute. I'm telling you, if you just stop doing the things that's in the world and start fasting and praying, you'll find yourself in this school in a heartbeat. Because as long as you got them spirits on you, them spirits ain't gonna let you come into the truth.
Right.
They're gonna fight you tooth and nail. Family members gonna be jumping from the closet. People you ain't never seen before gonna be hitting you up, right? Trying to slide in your DM just to keep you weak,
Right.
and keep you addicted to the wickedness of this world.
Right.
It's like you go here and read that for me.
Come on, kind. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Right.
Fear God and keep his commandments.
Fear God and do what?
And keep his commandments.
Fear the Most High God and keep his commandments. That's what we're supposed to be doing. You can't serve two masters. You can't be a Christian and then celebrate Christmas. You can't be a Christian. And I say, because the idea of Christian, they say they follow Christ and follow God, and do Easter. You can't do these things. You can't do both. Because there's actually some high holy days you should be keeping.
Right.
Right. But that concludes my class. Let me go ahead and read these service announcements. Okay. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. My Asherah, which means 10th in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase Yahweh gives you, gives to the Treasury Department or teacher priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you will like. That being said, men of Israel, mind. Which means stand. Elijah Sabak, Elijah, Barak, Hashem, Yahweh, Barakatah, Yahweh, Sar, courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, Elijah Sabak, Elijah, Barak, Yahweh, Shamar, Allah, Hashem, Yahweh, Yahweh, class dismissed.